Hey folks, my name is Jürgen, aka Nerd and Proud of It, and Destiny has brought you to my channel today to enjoy a spoiler-free review of Tron Ares, the new Disney movie and the new Tron movie, the third movie in the Tron series. I am one of the lucky ones who has been invited by Disney to see the movie already. The embargo lifts now, so I'm able to talk about it, and I am happy I can. I have been to the cinema in Amsterdam to see the press screening, and I actually was a bit skeptical because Jared Leto, for me, obviously, you might have seen the trailers. This is no spoiler. I'm gonna try to keep it as spoiler free as I can, but I will mention some things that obviously you have seen in the trailers. If you really do not watch any trailers or anything at all about a movie, or you don't read anything about the cast, then what are you doing here? I think you want to hear if I liked it or not, and again, I'm going to try to keep this spoiler free. But I was a bit skeptical about Jared Leto. For me, Jared Leto can be really fucking awesome, like in Fight Club, never talk about Fight Club, or in Dallas Buyers Club, but in Blade Runner or Morbius, I personally think he was a bit overdoing things. I don't know. For me, that didn't work that well. And he is a great actor. He's a great musician. I think he's a super talented guy. So I was a bit skeptical. And I can tell you, he's actually carrying the movie for me, at least, as a really cool, charismatic guy that is definitely helping the movie to come across very likable. I really love the old Tron, the really old one, 82. I haven't seen that in the cinema. I'm not that old. I'm pretty old, but not that old. I have seen it a couple of years later on TV. And I really liked the 2010 version, Tron Legacy. I honestly think it was well done. I really liked that Jeff Bridges came back, and I think his son looking for him, continuing the story, was pretty cool and pretty well done, and in the end, kind of worked for me. Visuals for 2010 were really, really nice. So, how does Tron Legacy hold up? Hold up? Hold up! I wanted to say hold up compared to the old ones. Hold up compared to the old ones? No. Hold up compared to the old ones. Visually, it looks fantastic, obviously. Like I said, Jared Leto, actually likable, charismatic, works as well. The other characters, honestly, not that much. Pretty forgettable, for me at least. I think Eve, the main character, she's not bad, or she's not completely unlikable, but she's a bit plain, and for me, she didn't do that much. And in the movie, actually, yeah, I would rather have seen Gareth Hedlund taking on the role of Flynn's son again, and it would have been the same plot somehow. They could have like worked that in there as well. So overall, so visually, stunning movie, looks fantastic. Obviously, you know that we are coming into the real world from the grid. You have seen that in the trailers, so that's not a big spoiler. All that looks pretty cool. I really, really like the fact that some of our favorite Tron vehicles and other constructs are actually visible, and how these things interact with the real world, how these things actually work in the real world. And yes, there will be lightsabers, and those will come over to the real world as well. Sorry, I don't consider that a big spoiler neither, because you all have seen it in the trailers as well. Characters, like I said, Ares or Jared Leto, pretty cool. You might see it in the opening credits. Jeff Bridges is back. Not going to talk about that too much, because that's pretty cool as well. And you're going to enjoy it, I think, if you're a fan of the old Tron movies. The other characters obviously are new. The bad guy obviously is new. He's played by the guy who played Dahmer in the Netflix series, or maybe more recognizable from X-Men as Quicksilver. And I kind of like that guy, and he's kind of a bad guy that slowly drifts into being even more bad than in the beginning of the movie, the longer the movie progresses. And that's kind of okay. He has his struggles, but he just wants to get ahead. And yeah, so the bad guy is not the best bad guy I have seen. Of course, he's no Darth Vader or something like that, but he is kind of okay as an adversary. He's mean enough and he's clever enough to pose a threat, so that is nice. Ares has a couple of friends, buddies that help him out. Those are pretty cool as well. They focus on only one or two, which is a bit of a shame because the other ones are kind of faceless, and I would have liked to see more of the constructs or programs moving over from the grid to the real world. Not only Ares and a couple of others, but in general, I think that would have probably gone too big when it comes to the plot. We got like a comedic sidekick for Eve, who, like I said, is the main character. Comedic sidekick is kind of okay. We got two more of those working for Encom, and yeah, it is what it is, folks. You need these characters to move the story along and to help out in the end. Visuals, like I said, pretty awesome, pretty cool. Characters, okay. Jared Leto, actually pretty good. Rest, kind of okay. The overall feeling, the action, the how the movie comes across, story, actually pretty okay. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the threat in the real world. I kind of liked that they moved away from the grid. I honestly like that there are a lot of references to the old movies. I don't know why they didn't include Gareth Hedlund or why they didn't include Bruce Boxleitner, an actor I totally love since Tron and Babylon 5 and other stuff he did. I don't know what the English series is he played in. Agentin mit Herz, like where he plays the opposite of a housewife that is recruited as a spy. I have to look it up, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I love that guy. Why he's not in here? He was in the 2010 movies. I don't know. Why Gareth Hedlund? He's referenced. Both of them are referenced in photos and so on throughout the movie. To me, that's a missed chance. I would have loved, especially when you look at the 2010 movie and the 1982 movie, they brought all of the big characters back and actually introduced a few others. So yeah, they could have done this here as well. I think all of the actors are still active, and I think that is a missed chance. So for me, there was too much new stuff, too much goofy stuff, too much funny side characters that are totally forgettable. But overall, like I said, the movie, I kind of liked it. I think it was better than I expected, and maybe that's why I liked it. I think if I wouldn't be so into the old movies, I might like it even more, or I need to look at it objectively, if you know what I mean. I'm too hung up on the story and the characters that came before this one. And if you give this new movie a chance, if I go to this movie, if I'm going to see this movie with my kids, they probably will like it, because it's a good family movie with enough action, enough suspense, that you are sitting on the edge of your seat and you're thinking, what's about to happen? What the fuck is going on? Where does this lead to? So honestly, I can say I enjoyed myself. Grab a bucket of popcorn, grab a drink, and sit down and go into this movie open-minded. I had the same feeling like with Superman. I did a review of that as well, attended the press screening. I'm going to link to the Superman review if you're interested at the end of this video. But it's a bit of the same story for me. If you are used to Henry Cavill, or if you are used to Christopher Reeve as Superman, you might not even give the new Superman a chance. But the movie in the end was really, really good. And I have the same here. The movie, not really, really good, but really good. It was a good movie, but not fantastic. But if you are into the old movies a lot, then you will see a couple of things that you think that could have been done differently, especially with the characters involved. Visually, like I said, the movie is stunning. The effects are cool. Constructs moving into the real world looks amazing. Disney, of course, does a perfect job with these things. No argument there that this is definitely a big thing, a big movie out there. And I watched it on an IMAX screen. Yeah, sound awesome. It blows you away when it comes to just the visual effects and the sound effects. It's definitely spot on. No arguing about that. Final thoughts, folks. 10 minutes. I think you get my drift. I don't want to drag this out too long, but I'm trying to find a way to convey to you without spoilers what's happening. So yeah, if you're really not into the story at all, maybe this would be a point where you switch off the video, because I'm going to go a little bit more into that. So we got the bad guy, and the bad guy actually wants to use the constructs of the grid as weapons. And that's why he's moving them and manifesting them in the real world through these lasers we have seen in the old movies as well. Think of it a bit as a 3D printer thing, but then with lasers, something that is actually moving from the grid to the real world and is manifested there and works there. And he does it because he wants to use things as weapons, and he wants to use the tanks and the flying things and all this kind of stuff. And he wants to use Ares as well, a program actually steering these tanks and weapons, and you will see that pretty early in the video. And then on the other side, and he's from the Dillinger group, new group, and they established that in the first 5 minutes that the Dillinger group and Encom are fighting over the last 40 years, who is further along in the war for being the leader of technology, AI, and so on. And Encom wants to do good and wants to feed the hungry with manifesting stuff from the grid, and the Dillinger group wants to make money and wage war with the things the grid can offer. So he does that, and he's got a problem. Those things are not staying in our world for very long, and he needs to find a way to make them stay in the real world longer than he actually can have them stay. And there is kind of a permanent code that makes things permanent, and Eve, who is now CEO of Encom, actually looks for that code and finds that code. So yeah, and then the chase begins. So the Dillinger group is after Eve, the bad guy is after Eve, he's sending Ares after Eve to retrieve the code, and from there we get into a whole roller coaster that is the movie. So that was kind of the setup, and that is kind of done pretty okay. Could have been done a little better. Like I said, if you would have replaced Eve with Gareth Hedlund, the son, to me it would have been the same, and the continuity of the movies would be ensured. Because we had like 1982, that's like 28 years from the first one to 2010 to the second one. And then now we got 15 years to the third one. So why not include all these characters again, and why not make use of them? Why do you have to introduce something completely new? I don't get this. This is not necessary for me. And personally, it's why can't we have seasoned characters like an old Bruce Boxleitner, an old Alan would still be okay. He was okay in 2010. It would still be okay now. It is not a kids movie. It's a movie for the whole family. So you can have young actors, characters, and you can have old characters. So in that case, or in that sense, Jared Leto for me was super welcome, because he's kind of the older. Of course, he's a little bit older. I think he's in his 50s. He looks fucking fantastic for in his 50s, but still, he is. And to me, that is someone I can relate to, even as an old guy. And maybe some of the other characters my kids can relate to. Fair enough, but even then, it would have been okay to include the other characters as well. So yeah, now I talked for another 5 minutes, but that you see, there's something there, and I wanna get that across. I wanna get the love for Tron across, and I wanna get across that there is a missed opportunity here, and still it is a good movie. You're still gonna enjoy the movie if you not only if you enjoyed the old ones, but especially if you enjoyed the old ones, because there are a lot of great references to the old movies, even to the first one. There's one fantastic reference in there. I love that. I almost got a bit emotional there. It was really done very well. So let's wrap it up, folks. I hope you enjoyed the review. I again try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. Of course, I told you a little bit what's going on, but everything is happening either in the first 5 minutes or the first 15 minutes, I guess. And yeah, in the end, the movie is 2 hours long, or you have seen it in the trailer. And I told you in the beginning as well, if you are not the person who watches trailers or anything at all, then yeah, maybe this is not the review to definitely choose when you want to hear about the movie. Okay, movie. Not too bad. Not too bad. I wouldn't know what else to say when it comes to rating the movie. Check it out for yourself. I think it's worth going to the cinema. I think it's worth getting a bucket of popcorn and a drink in the IMAX. Maybe even in 4DX. I don't know how that's called for you, but the moving seats and the weather and the wind and so on. That might be cool, because there are some cool action scenes in there that actually might come across great in 4DX. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the review. Let me know if you already have seen the movie and you enjoyed the review, or what you think about the movie. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more movie reviews on the channel. Stay healthy, folks. Stay frosty. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye-bye.